Hello, everybody. I am the Wasteland Viking, and welcome to Civilization 5 with the Brave New World mod. So, what that mod does is that it overhauls the whole entire game, everything from the tech tree to the special traits that Civilization leaders have and things like that, and also some units and whatnot, which obviously is tied into the tech tree. So, and the social policies, all that stuff, it's all overhauled. But it's supposed to balance the game so it's a bit more fair, I guess. So there's some civilizations that I don't know. I've played the vanilla version, but they have seemed a little OP for certain abilities that they have. Rightly so, because that is their civilization to begin with anyway, but still, it's just balance out the game and make it just different. And I'll explain those and point those out as they come along. So, for who doesn't know about these games, most people I'm sure do. Whether you've actually played it or not, you've most likely heard of this game. It's been around for the franchise in general has been around for a very long time. What you do is that you pick a world leader of a part of history of a certain civilization or nation, whatever you want to call it, empire, whatever, and you go through the ages or the eras of technology from the classical era, which is like the Stone Age, beginning agriculture stuff, all the way to modern times and launch into space, pretty much. Be the first one on the moon kind of thing, I believe. I played Civilization 3 a lot when I was a kid, in the early 2000s, like 9 or 10 years old. So, I played that one a lot. Don't remember much of it. Um, and I'm more familiar with this game anyway. It is a lot more user friendly. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's set up a game. So let's actually look at the different civilizations we can be. We could be Morocco, Greece, Assyria, Songhay, the Huns, Rome, Germany, Celts, Poland, Russia, Persia, Carthage, England, Venice, Indonesia, India, Mongolia, Sweden, Ethiopia, Denmark, which I'm going to be playing because of Viking stuff and things like that. I could choose Sweden as well because of heritage and whatnot, but I'll go with the Viking Fury. Arabia, the Iroquois, Spain, Polynesia, Portugal, Austria, the Aztecs, France, Babylon, Japan, the Mayans, the Incans, Brazil, the Shoshone, Egypt, Siam. Is Siam or Siam? I think it's Siam. Korea, the Zulus, the Ottomans, Byzantium, America. George Washington is the president of America in this one. Civilization 3, it was Abraham Lincoln. But William, is it the Orange or something like that of the Netherlands? I don't remember what his full title was. And also China. So we are going to be as Herald Bluetooth. So our abilities are embarked units have +1 movement and pay just 1 movement point to move from sea to land instead of the 2 points of movement. And melee units may pay no movement point cost to pillage, which is really nice when we get to that point. And we have the Berserker and the Norwegian Ski Infantry, which is actually added into with the Brave New World mod. So I'm going to be playing as them because I am more familiar with them. Okay, game. So I think that's how it's supposed to be. So you can edit the name and things like that. I have messed around with it a little bit just for funsies and stuff like that. But yeah. So we're going to be doing random map type. We're going to be doing. Actually, let's go to this. We're going to be doing a tiny map size, which has 4 players with 8 city-states in it. Playing on Prince difficulty, which is the normal difficulty. On multiplayer games with family and friends and things like that, I'm used to playing on Prince just because it's just easier that way. But whenever I'm playing on by myself, I do usually play on Warlord, but I'm just going to go with the normal difficulty for a new challenge for me. Gameplay is going to do standard. There's epic, which it takes a little bit longer, but not that much longer. And then marathon, it just takes forever. And then game era, you could actually set. Oh, it's ancient era that we're actually starting at. Never mind, not classical. That's the next tier, obviously. You can start at whichever one you want, but we're going to be starting at the very beginning. These are the different victory types that we can choose, and I'm going to be choosing all of them because that's just how the game is. These are different settings, and some of them are like challenges or things like that, like Raging Barbarians, where there's always barbarians coming at you from all sides all the time. And also the one city challenge. So human players are only ever allowed to build or own one city, which is ridiculous. I'll never do that or Raging Barbarians ever. Maybe for a multiplayer game at some point I might record with some friends or family, and we could do that. But I'm going to be doing quick movement and quick combat. It helps on FPS, but what it does is it doesn't show the animations of moving or combat, but you obviously see the end result of it, so should be fine. I'm going to be doing random civilizations for the 3 of them, and let's get into it. And they're all different kinds of map types.
Honor and glory be yours, Harold Bluetooth Gormson, mighty heir of King Gorm the Old and Tyra Danibot. Not only were you victorious on the battlefield against the armies of Norway, you also completed massive construction projects across the land, numerous ring fortresses to protect the populace from invasion and eternal strife. You successfully drove off waves of German settlers in 983 AD and sheltered your kingdom from unwanted foreign influence. Stalwart Viking, the time for greatness is upon you once more. You are called to rise up and lead your people to renewed power and triumph. Will you make the world shudder once more at the very thought of your great armies of Norsemen? Will you let the Viking battle cry ring out across the crashing waves? Will you build a civilization to stand the test of time?
There is voice acting in this game, and whenever there are times when he is going to be talking, I'm not going to be talking or try not to talk. And, yep. So every civilization has their little snippet that he says. I don't know who the voice actor is. If it's obvious and it's like, oh, I don't remember that person, then please let me know. But I know it's Civilization 6. Sean Bean does the narrating on it. Let's begin our journey. So we have started in a decent spot, actually. I'm going to zoom out just a tiny bit. And so we've got some bananas here. These are luxuries that we can use. It increases our civilization's happiness and our gold production, or food, whichever one it calls for. And then also stone and other strategic resources that help with production, also food, or just getting units and things like that. So you can press this button here to found a city, or just click B. We have founded Copenhagen, which is awesome. So I changed it to Danish, and I don't know why it's still saying Reichlanders. I'll have to change that in a future episode. So let's start moving these guys. So our unit stats are down here on the bottom left. They have 2 movement and 8 strength, so they're not the weakest unit. The weakest unit in this game, I think, are scouts. Well, technically workers and settlers and other ones, because they don't have any strength. But as far as what you could use for combat, scouts are the weakest. They have 5. But yeah, so they're the basic ones that we get. We can either move them into the city to fortify it, or we can actually have them explore it. I'm going to have them explore. There's an automated one that we could do, but in this game in particular, in Civilization 3, I don't mind the automating ones because you have to actually, manually move them anyway, but I don't know. I just like moving things in this a bit more. So when you're moving through jungle or forests, marshes, I think they may have changed that with the Brave New World mod. Oh, there's some silver here too. Awesome. We've actually got a lot in citrus. Holy crap. We have a good starting point. And this looks like islands or archipelagos, whichever ones show up, I guess. But whenever you move through those, they are rough terrain, so your movement is reduced to 1 instead of 2. So yeah, let's choose production. So monuments help with culture, increases it by 2, and speeding the growth of the city's territory and the civilization's acquisition of social policies. Social policies are different traits and behaviors of your civilization that you can choose that give you benefits to certain ways of life, to be honest, and just certain, just everything really. So we can start out with a scout. Scouts are nice though because they can actually move through difficult terrain, rough terrain, but is vulnerable to attacks. Yes, they are weak, but they can move fast, which is nice. Or help expand our thing. I mean, we already have a generating culture of 1, so if we take a little while to do this, actually no, let's do a monument first. I like doing fast culture building civilizations. That's one of my problems. Sometimes science here, goes away on the side, just puts on back burner a lot, which actually isn't a good thing in this game. So this is the tech tree, and we all start with agriculture, so we can actually make farms, construct a farm. And all these have different abilities. Give you different worker types of constructions or building roads and things like that, cutting down marshes and jungle. And mining cuts down forest, I think. Yeah. And then also certain strategic resources show on the map. Animal husbandry shows horses. Bronze working shows iron. And just different things like that. And there will be more throughout the time of technology. So we've got lots of things here. You see on the bottom right here above the choose research, it shows you what the resource is and what it requires. And also, or even pops up here, it tells you what the output of that tile is and also what the terrain is. So it's forest, and if you cut down the forest, it turns to grassland. Or it is grassland underneath the forest. So it looks like we need calendar in particular to actually start off our stuff. Yeah, same thing with the citrus. So I think we'll go that route, and then probably get mining, or even do writing after that, because writing gets you the Great Library, which can get you free tech, where you can actually quickly jump into the classical era just fine, and things like that. So I think that's what I'll do. So yeah, let's do... So I'm going to do calendar first. So we'll discover pottery, which will give us the granary, which increases bananas and deer worked by the city produces one extra food. Same with wheat. And it allows food to be moved from the city along trade routes inside your civilization, which is good, especially if you have like a lot of trade routes but not a lot of people to trade with. You can trade inside of it and make cities faster. And also the shrine gives us +1 faith. I'm not a huge faith person, at least right off the bat. To start off with, I'm usually not. I like doing infrastructure first, in a way, and then those extra things. So going to be doing calendar, where we get the plantations, stoneworks, which each source of marble and stone worked by the city produce an extra production. And city must have at least one of these resources approved with a quarry. So with the stone, we can make a quarry, whatever. Put it on the stone, and then we can build this, and yeah, city must not be in plains. Ooh, are we on plains? I actually didn't notice that was a thing. No, we're on grassland. Plains are more of a yellowish color, but Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So let's do that. And then also Stonehenge, which is another good early works of wonder or world wonder that's for faith, and it's actually really good for those people that want to jump into that. But I'm going to be doing writing next, and what you could do is shift to left click on the next tech you want to do, and it puts it in a queue. So that's nice. We'll click next, and that's our first turn. First 15 minutes of the game, and that's our first turn. Obviously, when I'm playing by myself, I'm a lot faster, but commentary and stuff. And if my commentary is a little sloppy, I do have kind of a headache going on, and a bit, not a head cold, but weather change and stuff like that is making me kind of, feel a bit weird, so my commentary is a little sloppy in some areas. I'm sorry, but that's just how it's going to be. Alright. So I'm just going to be having these warriors go around and see what is around. What's up? I'll get to social policies when we get to that point. So not so much. When you are in forest and jungle, your vision is a bit obscured, so you can't see much very far. But if you're on hills, in particular, you can't really go on mountains. But if you go on hills, it extends it. Helps with exploring quite a bit. So we go on this hill, and it actually shows like 2 tiles out instead of just the one. And like on the grasslands, on the forests and jungles, it really doesn't even give you the 1 tile that you normally see beyond that. Which is alright, you just need to be more careful where you place your units. Especially if it's like a settler. And whenever you can, just go on mountains. Or on hills, I meant. Oh, there's some marble here. So there's a bug that happens with this. It started happening at some point, I don't remember when. But like, even though you're done moving everybody, it still sits there with unit needs orders. And yeah, I don't know why. And there isn't anything I could do about it. It might be my processor, kind of, but... Alright, so Copenhagen has grown. Sweet. So it has 2 population now. So this bit here, yeah, from size 2 to size 3 in 8 turns. So that's how many turns it will take to grow. And then obviously this is production, how long it will take to get that product done. There. Ooh. Ancient ruins are nice because they can give you anything from a free tech to population growth, units sometimes, upgrades for units. So like if this warrior unit were to go on the ancient ruins, they could be upgraded and get become spearmen. So even if it's a tech you don't have, there's a chance of it happening. And then also gold, I believe even like a map. It's like, oh, this is a rough map of the area kind of thing, And they don't give you units that often. In Civilization 3, there are tribes that do the same thing, except they sometimes gave you like settlers and things. So evidence of recent activity reveals the location of nearby barbarian encampments. It also shows barbarian encampments. So there's one over there, and one over there. So I'm guessing we're on archipelagos. Because they're bigger lands than just, like little islands here and there. So if these moments do take quite a while, I'll just cut them out in editing so you guys don't have to sit and wait. Oh, yeah, we're still on archipelagos. I don't think we're connected land-wise, yeah. So we'll have to actually get sailing quite early on, more than I normally would do. So if I were to build a second city, I would put it here, to be honest. So that's a good thing. Salt, which is another luxury. Wheat is good for, obviously, growing and things like that. And if you have the granary, it increases... Well, if you put farm on it, it adds an additional food. And if you have a granary, it makes that 4 food. And then I think the production will just stay as the 1. And then fish are also a good source of food, especially if you have a lighthouse. So, yeah. Is if it's worked with a working boat, it increases it to 3, and then the lighthouse increases uh, coastal and ocean tiles with 1 food in that city's territory. There are lots of buildings that help, obviously, with the improvements of, your city, with the tile improvements, and also workers can do things to
Shall
improve
the
those.
clay say to him that fashioneth it, What makest thou?
Yeah, so these bits, I will try not to talk over him, and also try not to skip. So playing by yourself, it's very easy to just skip those because you've heard them so many times. Let's move our warriors back up. After I'm done exploring this bit, I will actually just put them in the city. Just choose the production. Granary right now would be good, but let's start with a worker. It's going to take a while, but having our worker build a quarry here and also start getting these cultivated is at least we'll get calendar before the worker is done, so then we could get straight to actually doing that. I think after writing, I'm going to do mining. Actually, that's what I have to do, get the quarry and stuff. So after writing, I'll do mining, so we can get the silver, and also, salt when we get down there. So you can move them like how I've been moving, or you could actually. So how you move is hold down right click and drag, like this. My game's a little slow just because of my processor, but you can actually have them go further out, and the number in the middle will tell you how many turns it will take to get to said location.
Im
Germany,
Namen
oh no.
des großen deutschen Volkes heiße ich euch willkommen.
I know a little German, so off. Well, I haven't spoken in it quite a long time. It's been about since middle school, so over 10 years, like 13 years ago. And so I only Deutschland and Willkommen. But yeah, good. I like Germany, but they are very aggressive. So obviously the land expands out here, unless he's got sailing now, which I kind of doubt. But yeah, we'll see. And I don't know why that says of Danish. It's supposed to be of Denmark, but oh well. Next turn. So since we're having these guys actually move more automatically, we'll just have to click next turn, and they will just obviously move. Which you can also do by clicking enter, either on the numpad or on, the keys, the other keys. Or you could just click the button. I prefer clicking the button. Keeps you a little bit more engaged with what's going on. Playing by yourself, it's very easy to just have the game do its thing and just go on autopilot and, yeah. Aha! Okay, social policy. So let's adopt a policy. So we start out with these 4. There's tradition, which is best for small empires. You get extra culture in the capital city and unlocks the Hanging Gardens. And also, if you adopt all of the policies in it, so all these tree bits, you grant a 15% growth and a free aqueduct in your first 4 cities. Also allows to purchase great engineers with faith starting in the industrial era. That's good. Liberty is for faster growing, rapid expansion cultures. Provide 1 culture in every city and unlocks building the pyramids. Adopting all policies in the Liberty Tree will grant a free great person of your choice near the capital. This one's a good one to get into if you actually, even if you don't want to build quote unquote quickly, but just to have like free workers. Right here, tile improvement construction rate is increased by 25%, which is really good. We get a free settler, and speeds the training of settlers by 50% in the capital, and a free settler appears near the capital. And Venice receives a merchant of Venice instead of a settler. And yeah, cities connected to the capital. It's a very good one if you want to keep your people happy and things like that. Honor is good for fighting against barbarians. You gain culture from killing them, and then if you complete the the all of the policies in it, you gain gold from it as well, and you can also build the statue of Zeus. And then piety, um, great profit will appear when you do that, and holy sites provide +3 culture, which I think they do I think it's like a +6 faith for holy sites, so then you get additional culture with that as well, which is pretty good as well. I usually go with honor, but the thing is, I kind of want to expand at the same time. So this one, 15% production when building wonders and +1 happiness for every 10 citizens in a city, which is good. Garrisoned units cost no maintenance, and cities with garrison gain 50% range combat strength, which is also good. All of these are good in their own right. It's just what you feel comfortable or what you want to build your civilization as. Provides a free culture building in your first 4 cities. Ah, I see. Okay, so if I actually chose this and went and then eventually got to that, I would have gotten that free monument. But I like getting a head start on the culture game before doing this. And then there's 10% growth and +2 food in the capital city, which is good because we've actually got the bananas and things like that that help with food as well. And +1 gold and -1 unhappiness for every 2 citizens in the capital. Okay, so the unhappiness bit is kind of but the money adds up though for every 2 citizens. So I'm wondering this. So I guess it eventually balances out anyway. Because you get the 1 happiness for every for every 10 citizens, and then you get an unhappiness for every 2 citizens in the capital. Oh, that's for in a city though. So this eventually doesn't become a huge thing, but you get lots of gold. Liberty is also good because you do get that free worker and things like that. Let's actually go with tradition, I think. Yeah. Sweet. So now we've got 6 to begin with, which is awesome. Alright, so now that we're getting... Oh, partly close... Ooh, cotton's good. Now that we're getting kind of close to, I'm guessing, what Germany's borders are, I'll manually move them. And also there's fog of war, so I don't want to run into some place I don't know. Alright, so over here. So this is another good place to put a city, or actually even here, is you got the bananas, the cotton, the fish. This is a very resource-rich map so far, which is nice. But Germany is known for being very militaristic, and they will threaten you for whatever the hell for no reason. It's annoying sometimes, but if you can get on side with them, then usually things are fine. So we'll see how that plays out. And for me, I don't try to be mean to anybody. If they declare war on me and stuff like that, of course I'll try to retaliate if my army's big enough. But other than that, I try to actually make trade agreements and things like that with other civilizations so that they like me more. Which makes loads of sense. Da-da-da. I've clicked on that. Okay, there we go. I've clicked on it 3 times and didn't do anything. You can't be my mouse. I mean, I've had it for almost a year now. It's a Razer Death Adder 2, version 2, I think. So it's got a lot of a lot of clicks before it dies, so we'll see how that... Anyway, yeah, so this starts into being a bit more mountainous. They're starting to head this way, so I'm not sure if they're exploring or if that's actually where they're from. But I don't know, because that kind of looks like the edge of the island, so yeah.
So teach us to number our days, so that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Alright. Ooh, spices. I was like, oh, cinnamon, yay, but it's just general spices. So yeah, we're getting this hella freaking quick now, which is really good. This is always good. Garrisoned units, we don't have that yet, so let's just do aristocracy. Aristocracy. There we go. I do have minor dyslexia, so sometimes I read things a little bit weird. I have to double take on a lot of what I'm reading. Alright, so since we got that policy up and going, I think I'm actually going to have my city garrisoned. Getting bronze working will be good because we get spearmen, which have better strength than the warriors, and also they have pretty good defense, which are, good for garrison. Getting garrison in your cities and things like that. Oh, goodness. Oh, okay. Barbarian camps do randomly spawn in certain places, and then barbarians from there get spawned from the cities. I mean, from their encampments, which, if you don't take care of them, they get very annoying. Luckily, we don't have any that I know of yet on our island, so... Next. I think it's that bug that's making it take forever. Yeah, it is. There we go. Sweet, our worker's finally done. Calendar is finished. Only problem, though, tech-wise, we don't have anything to cut down the jungles, not even the forests. That is a problem, actually. So at this point, our worker is useless. We don't even have mining. So let's actually go to this. Shift-click on mining. Right? Thank you. And then let's get, since we're around jungle a bit more, let's get bronze working after that. Aim. Holy shit, thank you. For fuck's sake, I don't know why it takes forever. Anyway. A granary right now would be good, yes. Let's do that. I want to try to get some of these caught on so we could get our happiness going before I actually start settling to more places. I'm going to have you sleep, dude. You're going to be sleeping for a very long time, but there isn't anything else I can do, to be honest. Yeah, that's one problem. You have to cut down the jungle forest, whatever rough terrain is on a particular resource, you have to know how to cut those down or get rid of them before you actually do the tile improvement you want to do. So, that was my bad, my mistake. Now let's go there. Yeah, I'm done exploring for now. Problem about not having high production is, yeah, pointiest sticks. Yeah, we have less. They have way more because they have an ability where whenever they attack barbarians, they have a certain percentage, I think it's like 64% chance to actually convert the barbarians into their own army. So they get loads, buttloads of units, hella quick. And then if they're stronger than anybody else, they just bully them, and it's just like, fuck off, I don't want to deal with you. But it's how it be. So let's fortify you. And over time, you can actually upgrade your units in your territory if you have the right resources for it. Strategic resource anyway. Like iron, you can upgrade certain units to swordsmen, or berserkers, or pikemen, or things like that.
He who destroys a good book kills reason itself.
So we could get the library, which increases our science. But if you have the right resource to do that, like let's say for those are iron, if you have iron, you can actually, in your territory, upgrade them to that unit. You have to have the tech for it, of course, and that certain tech to do it, but it's doable. Damn. Okay, so we get garrisoned units. Cost no maintenance, and cities with a garrison gain a plus 50% ranged combat strength. Right? I guess if they have a ranged ability, then that's what increases it, because warriors don't, obviously, they're melee units, they're not ranged. Which is fine. I think cities, though, that are garrisoned have the 50% ranged combat strength, because cities have their own pew-pews that go around. So when mining is done, I can get the worker over onto that stone.
Es wäre in eurem Interesse, dass ihr dieses Angebot sorgfältig prüft.
I wonder if the Brave New World mod actually made them a bit nicer. Well, yes, I will take your declaration of friendship. Thank you. So since we also have writing, so we could do things like that, and also we can make embassies in the capital. So we're a little bit higher than them in score in general, but...
Was nun?
So, let's discuss.
Vorwärts.
Actually, no, we can't do that quite yet. That's alright. Trade?
Vorwärts.
I think that's how you have to actually do it. Nah. Oh, wait.
Vorwärts.
I just saw it. Do I not have the accept embassy?
Es wäre in eurem Interesse, dass ihr dieses Angebot sorgfältig prüft.
So for us to have an embassy in their stuff, we have to actually give them gold. Nah, I'll refuse that. For the time, anyway. I don't remember what I have to do. Because I got writing. So I should be able to do embassies, right? I don't know. And then when bronze working is... What the fuck? How?
The meek shall inherit the earth, but not its mineral rights.
He may have gone straight for either 1 ironworking or 2 optical. Because all you have to do for that is get the pottery to sailing to optics. That's all you had to do. Or mining, bronze working, iron working. We'll get there soon. I think the next thing after we get the text to cut these down, which is bronze working now at this point. I should have moved the worker. I'll do the sailing and optical so that we could start exploring around and actually go into these other smaller islands. Can we be there? Thank you. I need masonry to do quarries. Oh, I thought it was mining. Ugh. Well, shit. Alright. Well, we know how to cut down forests now, so we can actually do plantations. Oh, man. That's annoying, if I do say so myself. People in comments are probably yelling, "Hey, you needed masonry to do quarries, not mining." Which I should have looked at that. It says masonry. I have dyslexia, guys. I read that as mining. Oh my god. Okay, that's annoying. I think I want to get a settler made then before I actually do the Great Library. Because if you have, for a first city, if you actually do a Great Wonder in your first city, that's, in that case, 39 turns that you can't do anything for. At least expanding your territory and also just infrastructure for that city. It's very hard to do that. So we'll see how it all turns out. Should be fine, though. I think the next place I will go to, though, is probably down here. Or maybe even up here, because if we get more bananas and more dye, we can actually trade those, and our people will still be happy. If you have only one source of a luxury, and you trade that out, which is very not smart. I wouldn't recommend it. You lose that happiness for it. Actually, bananas aren't happiness, so we could trade those anyway. But like the dyes and stuff, and the cotton even. Well, the cotton, if we sell that, we lose the happiness. And when you have more than one of that resource, you don't gain additional happiness or gold. Well, I don't know about the gold, but the happiness anyway, you don't gain additional benefits from that. So you get the +4 the one time, and then all the other ones don't give you additional happiness. So it's better to trade them off and get something else, either one you don't have, or two, just gold in general. So it keeps that economic flow going. And so far, our territory is expanding quite a bit. I mean, the culture helps out a lot. Okay, rule of thumb, if that doesn't work, if the clicking the button doesn't work, just click enter, and usually it works. It does its thing. Next turn. And I really enjoy this game. It's loads of fun. Copenhagen demands incense. Well, we're not going to be finding that until we get to a desert. But whenever a city requests for a certain resource, what you have to do, if you find it, you get a We Love the King Day, which increases, I think, happiness and production, things like that, for a small amount of time. And also, I think it increases culture.
Here Hector entered, with a spear 11 cubits long in his hand. The bronze point gleamed in front of him, and was fastened to the shaft of the spear by a ring of gold.
Alright, so reveals iron, we can chop jungle, and we also get the spearman. Oh, goodness. Alright, so let's get optics next, for sure. Actually, against better judgment, masonry, then optics. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty sure it's my processor, but man, it's annoying. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Which makes me think it's more of the game. But, we'll see. Oh, shit. We can send our warriors out as well to fight against them. So barbarians, if they show up, you're within 2 tiles of the city, it can shoot. Yeah, see, we didn't take care of a barbarian encampment that somehow popped up down here. So now there's loads coming for us, which is alright. So we'll have that. Oh, that's not in range, which is alright. Let's have you take that out. Maybe. Damn it. Always have the city shoot first, and then your warriors, because then they can actually get the experience for it. So whenever your military units attack barbarians or enemy units and kill them, obviously, then they get experience for it, and then you can give them a promotion, which is perks and things, different kinds of perks. Benefits for fighting in rough terrain or non-rough terrain, or just different things like that. Alright, so they're kind of weak. Oh, so, yeah, they've already gone. Okay. They're probably dead. So they're on a hill, for one, and they have more health than us. Maybe. Ooh, almost. Ooh, that's close. So you can edit the name of the unit if you want. I don't do this heal instantly, because it consumes the opportunity to choose a promotion, so I'd rather make them better. Like, say, 15% stalemate. So we'll both die then. If that's the case, screw it. City can do it. You can go back in there and heal. Like that one gave them 15% better. So 15% more combat strength in rough terrains. And then there's Shock Troop, I think. Yeah, shock 1, which gives them... Ooh, so settling down there is not a good idea. So over here, yes, is best. I think. The problem is that barbarians, unless you see them... Ooh, there's also iron there, that's nice. So unless there are barbarians that you see, and their camp shows up, in this area that's not lit up by our territory, we can't see if one pops up or not. Which, that's why I didn't know there was one down here. And that's another reason why honor is good, because then you can actually choose... let's get a spearman in there. It'll actually pop up barbarian encampments in areas that you have explored, whether you can see it or not, based on your territory. So, the moment that we see any barbarian thing or whatever, we are out and coming back. Because if they catch up to us, then they can actually really... Okay, sweet. Free culture building in the first 4 cities. So when that one is built, we automatically get a monument for free, which is really good. Yeah, see, they're just camping there. Pantheon founded. Sweet. Something I'm not worrying about right now. And I'll explain if we get to that point. Well, pantheons are kind of like social policies, except it's the religious bit of it. Kind of.
How happy are those whose walls already rise?
You. Settler. Bill. Ha! I got you, Germany. They'll probably be like, hey, you're in our territory, fuck off. It's like, no, I settled here first. I didn't see your name on it. There's no gray outline. Alright, so... when that spearman is done, I'm going to be sending them down this way to get rid of those barbarians, so I can actually send my workers over here and not get worried about it. So masonry is done, yes? Yes. Quarry. Good. Okay. Choose production for you. Yeah, so gave us +2 because the monument was already done, so that's good. What's good for this? Nothing right now. I mean, granary is actually good. Let's do that. Next turn. They wanted to settle here to get the iron, I bet. World's busiest people, we're the lowest. Not by a whole lot, but there's somebody that's probably expanding more than we are, and they've got workers up the wazoo. So they've probably picked the Liberty tree because they were able to actually get that. Actually no, let's send the warrior down here. Scout out a little bit. Yeah, so building cities drops your happiness by a lot. And also, to be fair, we don't have a garrisoned unit in there right now. So the spearmen, I think, will actually become the new, garrisoned unit. In this one, you can't stack military units on top of each other, which is very annoying. But that's just how they did it from other games. I don't know how Civilization 4 was. I've never played it. But yeah. I know Civilization 3, you're able to stack as many units, almost as much as you want on top of each other. I think you could have like 6. That's a barbarian trireme. Which is something we're actually going to be getting in 4 turns. Yeah, so it's just right there. Alright. Oh! Is that Rome? The purple and the yellow? I think that's Rome. I didn't see them there before. Alright. So the thing about triremes is that they don't carry units. They're just an exploring naval unit. That's all they are. They recommend the Great Library. Yes, that's good because only 23 turns. That's not super long, and we've got that second city, which, yes, is a very long time to grow it, but we need to connect the cities.
He who commands the sea has command of everything.
Awesome. We have no happiness. Stalemate, yeah. So this is the combat summary on the bottom left there. It just gives you a quick rundown of what will happen or of what's going to be happening with that fight. So, yeah. Unit needs orders. No, it doesn't. So they decided to settle over there. They made Hamburg, which they still got the iron. I'm a little sour about that, but yeah, they just went there. Alright. That's alright. We've got lots of other resources to trade with. I mean, iron is nice because you could get obviously the swordsman, but there are other places as well that most likely will have iron. So we'll just have to get triremes, and then when we do optics, we can actually embark our units, where our land units can actually move on sea tiles. Well, on this note, it's been sitting on this menu for about 3 minutes now, so I think I'm going to end the episode here. Sorry for the very abrupt ending, but there isn't anything I can do about it, so I'm just going to have to save the game and go out of it. But I hope you enjoyed that. Slowly building as Denmark, and if you have any tips or suggestions or just random facts about the game or anything like that, please leave them down in the comments below. And also please like and subscribe. That'll help me a lot and the channel out a lot, and will be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.